So, you know, what is this? Be nice to everyone. And, you know, everyone, be as creative as you can be. Because, you know, stuff like this puts such a smile on my face.
We're looking forward to our next edition of Reese Does America at some point in time in the next broadcast.
Great. He's fantastic.
At Popcorning and Air Conditioning, you don't have that luxury tonight. We are luckily behind some clouds right now, but again, this is a major adjustment for Monterey. The expected high temperature on the Central Coast today was 60. It was mid-90s, and I think about 1,000,000% humidity today in Indianapolis.
Yeah, not to mention the turf brings out even more heat, so it's about 5 to 10 degrees hotter on the turf. It's a nice little breeze. It's not too bad right now, so we'll see how they handle that tonight.
Stat comparison between these two teams. Frankly, the numbers virtually even again. Campazano's been very busy in terms of stopping shots. Any of those numbers that kind of jump off the page to you, Coach?
Yeah, I like the shooting accuracy is pretty strong for Monterey. You know, they all their shots have been taken in the box. So again, we talk about some of the. Well, in a minute, we'll talk about some of the keys of the game, but keeping them out of the box is going to be key for Indy 11.
Keys, you say? Let's get right to it. Brought to us by our Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Let's start with the home team, Coach.
Yeah, Indy 11, defensive pressure in the box. Every single one of Monterey's goals has come inside the box. That ball's inside the box, and Indy's defensive 18, they've got to put high pressure and prevent that shot from getting in. Talked about it with pregame with Coach McCauley. Not just set the tone, but maintain the pace. Maintain the pace for 90 minutes, not 40, not 50, not 60, 90 minutes. Monterey Bay engaging their key players, getting Paul involved, getting Ivanovic involved, getting Soyberg involved. Guzman's going to come through, getting their key guys in the game, and fast attacking transition. I've seen Monterey's transition from defense to attack is pretty strong, pretty fast. If they can get that going, that's going to be challenging for Indy 11.
Our injury report is brought to us by Community Health Network Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Aiden Stanley out long-term for the rest of the season because of a torn ACL. Ben Afemu out because of a hamstring injury. Fingers crossed we see Ben by the end of the month of July. Well, that'll do it for our extended pregame coverage on Wish TV. We will step away. When we come back, we'll be joined by our audience on ESPN Plus as well. We're less than 10 minutes from kickoff. Indy 11 in Monterey Bay. Indy looking for wins in back-to-back seasons. I love this color combination.
Yeah.
Against the crisp and kelp. Back in a matter of moments. To the mic. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
The summer of soccer is here with the Indy 11. And you've got the chance to win a getaway to Charleston, South Carolina. When you grab our Summer of Soccer ticket deal, you get 10 entries into the Summer of Soccer Getaway Sweepstakes for a chance at a trip for two with flights, hotels, and meals covered. All this while you get to have a blast with the boys in blue all summer. Get your tickets now at Indy11.com. We continue to celebrate Independence Day weekend here in the Heartland. July 4th, yesterday, there could be some fireworks during the match. We know they are scheduled after the match, which is why our audience on Wish TV and Indy has been seeing us for the last 30 minutes. We say hello to those of you on the ESPN Plus joining us for the first time. It is the Indy 11 in Monterey Bay. Again, the Indy 11 in the East have some work to do as we approach the midway marker of the season. Indy is currently outside of a playoff position. On the flip side, Monterey Bay currently 6th in the Western Conference, trying to clinch a playoff spot for the first time in their 4-year history in the championship. Back in the broadcast booth alongside Dan Capsalis, my name is Greg Rakestraw. Happy 4th of July weekend, everybody. And Danny, we could focus on a lot of different things between these two teams. We're going to focus on the shot stoppers tonight. Obviously, for the Indy 11 last week, the story was not one but two penalty saves in the shootout round as Hunter Solt earned the Indy 11 an extra point and kept them in control of their group in the Jägermeister Cup.
Yeah, the goalkeepers in this game, both teams are outstanding. Solt had a huge game last week with the PK saves and just had a great game. Campuzano from Monterey Bay is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. Top quality player. Both keepers in net. Going to be tough tonight to beat.
Well, again, for Hunter Solt, it was round number 5 and round number 8 that got the job done for the Indy 11 last week. Now, for Nico Campuzano, 52 saves. That, frankly, leads the championship by a lot. It's honestly a stat you don't want to have your keeper lead in.
Yeah.
But Coach George Stewart has to be awfully thrilled he's got Campuzano in goal.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. He's got a 75% save percentage, Greg. I mean, this guy's big, strong, he's quick, he's agile, he reads the play well, he communicates to his team. Just a top-notch goalkeeper. Going to be tough to beat tonight.
Only meeting of the season between these two teams. The Indy 11 won a late one on the West Coast a year ago. They hope for a similar result this time around. Starting lineups, opening kickoff. Come your way next on Wish TV.
This is Molly. She loves road trips, hikes, her dog Max, and cars that fit her lifestyle, like this cool new ride that she got with help from Indiana Members Credit Union at a great low rate. And for when she's on the go, IMCU makes it easy for her to pay from anywhere thanks to their digital banking. Looks like Molly is really getting the max from her credit union.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it, try it, paint it, love it. 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 Find it, try it, paint it, love it, love it, love it, love it.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine. Exceptional care simply delivered. And by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Let's get to our starting lineups there, presented by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. 3 at the back, including last week's goal scorer in Josh O'Brien, bumping out to that left back position.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, they've got 3 in the back. They're organized. These guys, They have great chemistry. They've got great rhythm. They know each other really well. They read each other really well. Should be strong for them tonight.
On the flip side, for Monterey Bay, Elijah Paul wears number 20, plays up top for the Crisp and Kelp. Leads the team in goals with 4, tied for the team lead in assist with 2. He has played in every match and started all but one. Again, Campazano, the guy designed to stop shots for him. Again, it is Paul, the guy that has to score shots for him.
Yeah, he is something special, and they're going to be looking for him on a regular basis. He's going to make runs through the midfield, up top. He's going to do diagonals. He's going to be checking back. So he's tough to manage up top.
Our officiating crew for tonight's contest: Natalie Simon is our referee, Christian Little, Brian Marshall our assistant referees, and Rogelio Alvarez is our 4th official. Sun makes its appearance out from behind those clouds. Again, for those of you watching from Northern California or parts outside of Indianapolis, this is an east-west pitch alignment. So the Indy 11 and goalkeeper Hunter Sobey looking into that sun. And as you saw last week, it's late June, early July. It's going to be light outside the entire time. Hence the reason why kicking off at 7:30 for fireworks tonight. Thanks for joining us on Wish TV and ESPN Plus.
Sun does play a factor in that particular spot, Greg. This pitch was not built for soccer. No, most time it's north-south, so you don't deal with the sun, but this was a track and field set up way back in the day, and so that sun is a factor in Salt's face this first half for sure.
Love the flick by Amo. Foster able to chest it down, but could not find a teammate in Campazano. We'll have an early goal kick for the Indy 11, or excuse me, for Monterey Bay. 4th consecutive year these teams have played each other. He went out to Cardinal Stadium and lost 5-0 back in September of 22. Monterey Bay came here and won 2-1 in April of 23. And in a pregame show, we referenced an Elliot Collier goal in the 88th minute, the only goal of the match, and in it, Indy 11 had a road victory at Monterey Bay last May. In fact, after this match, just 2 more matches remaining against Western Conference competition for the Indy 11, and one of those is not until the final match of the season. It'd be a trip to Championship Soccer Stadium in Irvine, California, to take on former league winners Orange County.
Looking at Monterey Bay's initial lineup here, Greg, looks like Soyberg's dropped. He's like going to play the number 6, maybe 6 player coming through. He's dropped behind Paul and Ivanovic.
Salt in retreat mode, trying to chest one down. Hayden White gets in the way. Ball bounces around between both players, and I think both coaches thought there might have been a handball on the other side. Simply put, none of that is played. And eventually, ball volleyed out of play for a throw-in for the Indy 11.
One of the keys we talked about, Greg, before the game for Indy 11 was not just set the tone, but maintain it. Let's see if they can keep that going. Starts out quick here. This game has started out pretty quick.
5 wins for Monterey Bay. They have dropped points, though, in each of their last 3. Indy lost their 2 championship matches the previous week. Then was a winner in the shootout in the Jägermeister Cup. That will be a foul whistled against the visitors from Monterey Bay. That was Ivanovic whistled for the foul as Musa went to the turf. Luka Ivanovic, 25-year-old Aussie, playing in his first year in the States, played in Finland last season. So that was an Australian taking down a Kiwi. Was that matchup there at the back of the park with James Musa has been in the States now for the better part of the last decade, but a native of New Zealand. And Amo, he will be the target, trying to hold things up in spring. Blake to his left and Foster to his right tonight. 3 at the back of the Indy 11, though, going to be challenged. Left-footed shot, never on target. That was Elijah Paul that could not get that to go, and we start coming here for the Indy 11.
Again, he creates, he's got the pace, he's got the speed. He doesn't get a good quality shot on this, kind of hits it and slices that a little bit. O'Brien's trying to stay with him. He got him, beat him that particular time, but Paul can, if he gets inside the box, you got to be really careful. Keeping him outside the box, Indy 11's got a better shot at keeping him at bay.
Paul, a 3rd-year pro. He is 2 years removed from being the 7th pick in the MLS Super Draft out of the University of Washington. Spent time with Real Monarchs each of the last couple of seasons and had a handful of appearances in Major League Soccer for RSL as well. And that ball knocked down the left side, but not kept in play. Hoping for a touch was Monterey Bay, didn't get it. Throw in coming here for the Indy 11. Indy playing at home for a 4th successive Saturday night. 1-0 victory against Pittsburgh, a 1-0 loss to Las Vegas, and then last week in penalties, the Jägermeister Cup win against Birmingham Legion. For Indy, it's a pretty straightforward month. They play once a week each of the next 4 weeks. 3 Saturday home matches, 1 road trip to a very hot North Carolina squad. It's a Friday night game on July 18th. Amo again the target. Blake and Quinn both kind of looked at each other in terms of who was going to go after that, and eventually a foul whistled against the Indy 11.
What you're going to see too, Greg, we just saw that there with Blake. He's playing, outside, striker in a sense, where he's playing outside in the on the flank, but he's coming across the entire field and actually was playing 10 yards away from Foster. With him doing that, it's going to draw some space open for our midfielders to come in and take up that space. So watch Blake, because he's not just going to stay on one side of the field. He's going to mix it up and challenge that defender and open up that space behind that defender.
Craftily done by Moose to get a boot around Ivanovic. The long distance ball goes across the byline, and a goal kick coming here.
And the guy
Campuzano.
The guy behind Blake when he does that is who?
Aiden Quinn.
Yep. He's going to fill that spot and he's going to serve that ball in. So that's done by design. They have him roving into the center, Blake into the center a little bit more, so it creates that space for Quinn.
3rd consecutive year that Quinn and Blake have played together, and that was the idea by bumping Quinn a little further outside on the left flank. Those two guys know each other so well. They'll know exactly how to play off each other. First real chance for some pressure applied by the Indy 11. Wesley Fongu, first time for us to mention his name, and Rendon forces a giveaway. Foster with a step on it. Can Rendon get a cross away? He does, but over hits it. Nothing comes of the opportunity just yet for the Indy 11. Muir pressured by Quinn. Indy selective in their press when they have done it, though. It has been very effective this year. And Monterey Bay finds the escape hatch, and now they've got the counter going. White slows his man. Soyberg. Fonguk. Moby Fair. Space outside of the 18. Onside, left-footed cross. Never made its way on goal, but it will be, looks like a throw. Is it going to be a corner? It's going to be a throw coming here from Monterey Bay.
Indy 11's got to be careful. Soyberg comes through, supporting attacking position. Murphy or Lindley got to pick him up.
Well, we show you that replay. Guzman sent one in, but sent one in where nobody else was vacating there. He didn't miss anything. There's a goal kick coming for the Indy 11.
You see Soyberg now, how he gets behind the defense, coming from the midfield and supporting the attack. Got to be careful to keep an eye on him.
Of course, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformation developments, construction, management, and investments. Rendon could not clear the last defender. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Bruno Rendon encouraged to get forward. That was the voice of Sean McCauley you heard delivering that message.
I think everybody heard that.
Go between Blake and Quinn. Quinn trying to get on his left peg, takes a deflection and finds the back of the net. I'd say that move out left is working just fine for Aiden Quinn. Cue the smoke in Indianapolis. Tribute to Diego Jota as well by Aiden Quinn. Goal for Indy, 1-0 in minute number 9.
Just talked about Blake on the outside. He's going to move in the middle a little bit, open up that space for Quinn. That's exactly what happens. And Quinn gets an opportunity to take the shot. Looks like a little bit of a deflection. We'll see the replay here, but nonetheless, great play, great opportunity. And Quinn keeps that ball in play and then comes in. Great give and go between those two guys. Looks like it just goes off the defensor's foot. Just touches the defenseman's foot just a tad. But that's a great opportunity. Great play by Quinn and Blake. Just combination there.
So again, it may end up being an own goal off of Alex Lara. And as of now, belongs to Aiden Quinn. Eleven had 3 early goals this season. If it sticks, that is his 4th of the season. And you have seen this all throughout the football of the last couple of days. The tribute to, sadly, the passing of Diego Jota and his brother, who played in Portugal as well. Of course, Diego most known for his days of playing in Wolverhampton and successfully in Liverpool. Tragically, he and his brother killed in a car accident just a couple of days ago, and you have seen that kind of nod in the goal-scoring celebration throughout the football world. And I love the fact that the guys from the Indy 11 had that plan of who was going to find the back of the net tonight.
Tragic story, and a lot of respect there shown from Quinn there, and it just yeah, that's just a sad story.
Now can the Indy 11 find more? You heard Sean McCauley in his pregame conversation with us talk about scoring 2. Well, there was a time this year where 2 was not enough or 3 was not enough for the Indy 11. But in the month of June, about 1 was all that either side would have. Only game that really didn't follow that formula in June was the 3-1 loss to Tampa Bay by the Indy 11 on June 25th. It was 1-1 in regulation last week versus the Legion. A pair of 1-0 matches, or 3 1-0 matches before that. By the way, this portion of this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered. Here's Soyberg. Good, tough bending ball and that's the right play. Elijah Paul just could not get there, but Monterey Bay's best look of the match comes in minute number 11.
And again, Soyberg involved. I mean, he's up front, he's in the midfield. That's a great service ball in, swinging in. Paul just couldn't get quite a touch on it, but you see the kind of runs that Paul's making. Great ball, serves it in, swings it in, gets behind the defense, tries to go with his left foot, maybe better with his right there, but again, dangerous play, dangerous opportunity. So one thing Indy 11 has to do, Greg, we've talked about it before as well, shots on goal. They're averaging, 9 to 10 shots on goal. They've got to get more in the 12 to 15 range. They've got to increase their shots on goal opportunities, and right now they've gotten 1, and they're 1 for 1, which is great, but shots on goal, if they can get 12 to 15 shots, that means that they're creating opportunities. They're giving themselves chances, and they've got to create more of those. But that was a nice play by Monterey Bay.
Von Gook does a good job of stepping in and keeping that away from a charging Elvizamo. Beautiful ball that was served into the other end by Soyberg. I've never given this stat line before in my years of doing this. Soyberg played in the Faroe Islands Premier League last year. He's a native of Denmark, is Anton, 24 years of age.
And he is a big boy. He's got a massive presence. He's a supporting attacker.
I guarantee you time in the Faroe Islands not prepare him weather-wise for Indianapolis on July 4th weekend.
I don't think so. He seems to be adjusting to it pretty well. Right now, he's been a big part of Monterey Bay's attack. And I talked about earlier in the keys of the game. Get the key players involved. He is certainly one of those.
To Monterey Bay's credit, they flew out here on Thursday, and they trained here yesterday, trying to acclimate as best they could.
It's not easy.
In talking with Jordan Stewart, I really enjoyed the conversation he and I had yesterday before the match. He basically said, listen, we're going to have subs ready for the final 30 minutes, knowing there's some of our guys, 60 minutes is about as much as they can go, because you just can't replicate, just like the temperatures, the humidity is the thing that is so different about the climates in these two places this time of year. Soyberg knocks it forward. Quinn does a good job of tracking back and getting the way. The best that he could do was simply play it sideways. Throw in coming here for the visitors from Monterey Bay. This reminder, Indy 11 fans, show your Indy 11 pride. Get your exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
And part of that tactic, Greg, you mentioned with Coach Stewart, their bench, they've got 2 guys, Adrian Revelar and Maeli Malongo, who are on the bench and normally are starters. So they might be, saving them for, as they're, this could be a tactical, not starting them and bringing in fresh legs, 50th minute, 60th minute kind of thing. So we'll see how that plays out. He's got a couple of really nice players waiting to get in.
Here's O'Brien. Enjoyed talking with him for Soccer Saturday this week on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Rendon and Foster just weren't on the same page, but I think that took the last touch. Absolutely, Lara got to that last. Good hustle by Foster to win it back for Indy.
Rendon there's got to put a little more pace on that ball. When you play a ball to feet and you got a man on you, you've got to put pace on that ball. Didn't hit it quite enough, became a 50-50 ball, lost it. They got the throw out of it, but put a little more pace on that pass.
White launches. Monterey Bay clears it. Now it's a 1v1 race, and Musa's got to turn on the jets. Does just enough to get in the way and slow down Paul. Paul trying to create a window. Leaves it for Soyberg, and from the Indy 11 perspective, thankfully hit it right to Hunter Salt.
Nice play by Paul. You see the strength and speed that he has, and be able to shield that ball as he comes through, and he finds Soyberg, comes around, takes a quick look. Soyberg with one touch coming in. Very dangerous play again inside the 18. We'll talk about Salt and his positioning, his decision making, his anticipation. You see it right there. Soyberg didn't hit a great ball, kind of hit it toward him, but Salt was ready for it. You see the execution in Salt there.
Blake with some space to operate. And when in doubt, find Aiden Quinn. Quinn looking back post, Rendon just across the face of goal. Amo couldn't get to it in time. We talked about the fact that you're seeing Foster and Blake moving all across the pitch right now for the Indy 11.
As we talked about earlier, watch Blake. Blake comes inside, but you're not showing it here before Quinn hit that ball. Blake comes inside, opens up that space for Quinn, and Quinn serving it in. It's a rhythm, and they're executing it really well. It's how they scored their first goal. Almost got a second one there.
Musa, the guy that has the best throw in for the Indy 11, will use those lanes of track that he can access to in front of the signboards here. Outstanding crowd on hand for this July 4th weekend fireworks edition. Counter opportunity here. 1v3 because a player went down behind the play. Blast again right at Hunter Salt. Player from Monterey was looking for contact, and our referee Natalie Simon says no, not enough in it.
Yeah, it was White and Paul. There was a little bit of contact there, but I think Paul might have embellished that a little bit. The referee said play on. Or White got away with one.
Both options are possible, yes.
Because Paul has those, he has wheels, and if you get him some space, trouble. O'Brien's been keeping an eye on him in the back there, and he's got his hands full.
It's Monterey Bay team looking for their first road victory since the end of March. And Salt does just enough and draws the contact, draws the whistle. Well, O'Brien had hustled back. Hayden White, the player. It's taken a minute to recalibrate. Paul is being told, hey, no card, but that's enough of that. And
is that Musa down?
That is Hayden White that is the player that is down. Ran into his own keeper in the process.
Yeah, he might have got a shot in the head from the hip there. Salt's doing the right thing. He's coming out hard. He's making a play on the ball. White's looking at the ball. He's got the attacking player on his back. They're all looking at the ball, not looking at each other. And incidental contact there, but Salt does hit White in the head there, so they got to keep an eye on that and be really careful here.
Well, remember, if it is a head injury, it would be an extra substitution for the Indy 11. We saw that last week, happened to Birmingham, and they ended up getting a sixth substitute in the game. Of course, the hope would be that Hayden White could continue, but if not, Finn McRobb and Pat Hogan are already loosening up, and frankly, both guys have spent just as much time in the starting lineup, if not more so, than coming off the bench. So Indy does have options. Yes, their two players that are injured are both defenders in Stanley and Afemu. That's part of the depth of this Indy 11 squad.
Yeah, and any one of them can come in and have no trouble blending right in. They're both looking at the ball. Here's what's scary about this. He doesn't even see, White doesn't even see Salt coming out. I'm not sure if Salt was communicating. I'm sure there's some communication going on. But you kind of get blindsided there, and when you get hit in the head like that, that's really, really dangerous.
Well, clearly the purview of Natalie Simon was that the contact from Paul to White is what then caused the collision with Salt.
Correct.
Hence what the whistle was for.
Right. And it thrust White into Salt, who's, again, coming out on the play, trying to make a nice play, and collides with his own player. But those types of hits to the head, when you're not, you're not expecting it, you're not prepared for it, you just kind of get caught off guard. He certainly looks dazed, and we certainly hope he's okay.
Hayden, a guy that, again, is a veteran of professional football from overseas. Over 250 appearances, in fact, part of the English football pyramid. Bolton, Notts County, Blackpool, Mansfield Town, and Walsall. There's a couple of different persons we'll talk about with that level of experience. The other one would be the head coach for Monterey Bay, and Jordan Stewart. Of course, Sean McCauley knows his way around English football as well.
Just a little.
Having trained as a youth with Manchester United, and literally has spent time with Sir Alex Ferguson himself and knows the family quite well.
Good company.
But there is Jordan Stewart. Second season as the head coach of Monterey Bay. Took over in August of last year. Has both over 100 appearances for Leicester as well as Watford, including Premier League appearances for each of those two teams as well. When I talked to him yesterday, he goes, hey, how's Brad Ring doing? Those two guys played together with the San Jose Earthquakes back in the day.
I like the USL rule, Greg. When a trainer comes onto the field, the player has to come off and be checked and make sure that he's okay to go back on. You see White coming back onto the field, which is great news for Indy 11. But I like that rule. It's cautionary. If the trainer is called onto the field, you don't have to be substituted, but you have to come off the field to make sure that you're okay to go back in. In any other league, that doesn't happen. Trainer comes on, and the guy just gets back up and goes and plays. So I like that rule. It's cautionary. It's thoughtful for the player, and it makes sure that he's got the green light to get back in the game.
Just a reminder, fans, watch Wish TV, your local news source. Find them online at wishtv.com. And, of course, Wish TV News at 10 o'clock on both Wish TV and My Indy TV 23.
Like to see with Indy 11, like to see Murphy and Lindley get more involved in the attack. They haven't been as aggressive yet. See if they can get more involved in supporting the top three guys.
Of course, this match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformation developments, construction, management, and investments. And Aiden Quinn, the goal in minute number 9. Blake under pressure. That'll be deemed to be a foul against Monterey Bay.
They weren't crazy about that call, but they looked like he got the ball and Blake. Blake got hit. There's no question. They're saying he got the ball first and then the follow through. Let's see here. But Blake does get the ball. They kind of collide. Yeah, that's a foul. That's a good call. Again, Blake has played in the midfield for Indy 11, so he's playing up top today. He's playing on the outside, technically outside left, although we've seen him all over the field. And he's dropping into the midfield because he's so used to doing that. It's just his nature. So you see that type of work rate and work ethic he has. He's so hard to defend.
Did Campuzano handle that outside of the 18? The answer is no. He was certainly aware of his surroundings. Great job by Lindley to dig in and win possession back. Campuzano, like Burt Lancaster's character in The Field of Dreams, knew exactly where that line was when he had to stop.
Great reference.
Thank you.
Great reference.
I try to work in Moonlight Graham when I have the opportunity.
That's just fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, he is not reading anything. This is all off the top of his head. It's just brilliant.
That movie may have been on yesterday for a 4th of July holiday.
Just brilliant.
O'Brien looking to find Foster's speed. Just overcooked that pass a little bit. Goal kick, and here is the
take a look here.
Edge of the 18, and again, I'm okay with that. He dropped that before he landed in the 18.
It's close.
I'm okay with giving him the benefit of the doubt in that scenario.
I think he was okay, but and he knew he was close. That's why he kind of, volleyballed it over the line.
I can live with 18 yards and a couple of inches. I think that's the spirit of the rule.
Well, so far, one thing Indy 11 has done, we talked about one of the keys of the game is keeping.
Nervy moment here on the back pass that will not go down as one of Campuzano's 53rd or 54th save, but might as well work just the same.
The thing about Greg was from so far, Indy 11 defensively has been able to apply that pressure and keep them from getting a shot. Yeah, this is dangerous here. Just kind of an oops. I mean, almost just a free pass into the goal. That would have been a Christmas gift for Indy 11.
And Moby Fair with a little too much velocity on that one. Fans, you've got one more week to be a part of the Summer of Soccer, presented by Indy Roof and Restoration. It runs through next Saturday, July 12th. Follow Indy 11 on social media. Learn more about how you can take part in the Summer of Soccer promotion. Have a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Charleston, South Carolina to watch the boys in blue on September the 6th. Of course, fans, you can see the Charleston Battery tomorrow on CBS Sports Network as they take on North Carolina FC. That match at 5 o'clock. Lindley, the one touch to Rendon. Ball just won't check up for Rendon. But the right idea by the Indy 11.
Yeah, and that's what Lindley does. He sees the play before the play happens, or he creates that anticipation of the play. He puts the ball where he wants you to be. That one just hit it just a little bit hard, but that thought and that decision-making is what Cam Lindley brings to this field.
Here's Moby Fair. He and Laura, guys that have been longtime members of this Monterey Bay club. Alex Dixon off the bench, another player of that ilk. A great sense of both community and continuity in this fourth-year franchise from the Central Coast. Give and go between Fair and Soyberg. Pongo. The edge of the 18, Paul, and it was close. And a shot rifled from the edge of the 18. It's Solt, has to lift up and over the bar. Corner kick coming from Monterey Bay in minute number 26.
Monterey was looking for a foul there. There was certainly some contact. Paul and players just got a little bit tangled up here. You'll see it here. Paul's trying to get in there, and both players just kind of like, getting wrangled up. There's not really a foul. They're both going down at the same time. Certainly another opportunity. As long as you keep, right now, as long as you keep Monterey from shooting, inside the box. Right now, they're keeping them outside the box, and those are going to be in favor of a goalkeeper like Solt.
So Soyberg will send it in. Before he does so, a quick intervention. An activity picking up at around the 6-yard box. Paul trying to create some space, and Elvis Amo marking him.
Referee doing a nice job keeping it under control.
Bending ball in. Takes a ricochet, and flag went up even if Solt had not been able to snag that one.
That sun's right in his face like we talked about, Greg. I mean, it's not easy to do. The ball's in the air like that, and he's got guys coming at him, and he's got to keep his concentration. Again, the word concentration for Solt. He's done so well with that.
See, this is where Hunter's training, though, being from Alaska, comes in handy. He's used to 22 hours of daylight. He's used to having the sun in his face playing this time of the evening.
That's true. So maybe it's not affecting him at all.
We appreciate those of you in Central Indiana that are watching Monterey Bay tonight. If you want to watch their next match, just go to ESPN2, because next Friday night they will take on Orange County. Again, that is at home in Monterey, 9 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Pacific time. Be sure to catch all the action on ESPN2. Here's Quinn. Cross block, but it will be a corner coming. Not a throw, but a corner here for the Indy 11.
Talk about the stats of both teams, Greg. Possession. Monterey Bay is averaging about 47%, and Indy 11's averaging about 44% possession rate. If you can get that up to 50 or a little bit above 50, those are the teams that are going to, kind of control the game, control the match. Right now, they've been pretty similar, but trying to increase their rate of possession. How do you do that? Ball to feet, short game. Look for players behind the fence. Maintain possession, manage the ball.
Murphy's ball in, doesn't find a teammate. Hayden White. Step on it, and it'll resettle.
Don't have to force it.
Foster. Off to the races goes Foster, has a hit, heads up in the top of the BYB, and that is up and by the media will call stand.
He hit that over the stands, but I like it. I like the play. I like the run. I like the effort. Hitting a ball from 25, 30 yards out, one, he can catch a goalkeeper off guard, and you see his speed, that 5 yards. He has that 5 yards just explosive. Take that shot. So didn't execute it well, but the idea and the opportunity he just created, I like it.
We are close enough to the 30-minute mark, and we are well into the territory of asking for a hydration break, so we'll take that now. Gives us a chance to thank the presenting sponsor of the Indy 11. You see it on the front of the player's shirt. That would be Ford, your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. We always appreciate our crew, but especially on a day as warm as this one. So thank you to Clem Tiggs and Alex Laverne, and thank you as well to Greg Shart and everybody else involved with our production producer Adam Coppinger joining us on this Saturday night alongside Dan Capsalis. My name is Greg Rakestraw. Members of the BYB taking this in as well, and since we have the pause in the action, let's take you back 21 minutes. Lone goal of the match belongs to Aiden Quinn.
Blake plays a great ball back to Quinn. Quinn takes a shot. Get that shot off. Anything can happen. Goes off a defense's foot. Back of the net. Great play by Quinn. Cuts it to his left. He looks like he's going right. He looks like he's taking it to the right. Shakes the defender, takes it left. And that's why you shoot, because you get a deflection, it counts.
The really good players will do what they want to do, even if you know that's what they want to do. Quinn may have like the best left foot in the history of the league. So any scouting report knows he's going back to his left. Didn't matter. He found a way to get it done. Here is the weather updated again. It got into the mid-90s today, and it has kind of been this way for the better part of the last 2 weeks around here now. And no chance of rain, which is great, but that's the reason why we are having a hydration break here in minute number 30.
Sun going down. There's a soft breeze. It's feeling a little better.
To be honest
We're
with
in
you,
the shade.
To be honest with you, the 30 minutes later start time ended up being a godsend for tonight's match. That helped significantly. Trying to press, but Monterey Bay has broken it now twice. Paul has been the most dangerous player with the ball at his feet for Monterey Bay.
He's so explosive. He's fun to watch.
Fair sends it in, but again, virtually everything on target has been directly at Hunter Solt. Part of that is his position, and part of the fact is he's also 6'7". That doesn't hurt either.
And you want those balls, coming from 25, 30 yards out. Those are like pop flies for the shortstop, right? I mean, those are easy for Hunter Solt. There's a foul.
Blake takes a tumble.
He's got cleat marks on his back on that one. Easy call.
Late flag goes up. It will be a foul.
Good opportunity for Indy 11 here. We haven't had a lot of restarts.
Sammy Gadiri is the guilty party there. You can do some damage from this spot if you're the Indy 11.
Looking to get over the back line, between the 6 and the PK spot. Time your runs. You're just looking for a one-touch redirect.
Fair is being asked to reposition. While he does that, we can tell you about our friends at Hyatt Place and Hyatt House in downtown Indianapolis. Experience comfort in downtown Indy. Hyatt Place and Hyatt House. You like the right foot or the left foot here, Dan?
I think Quinn's going to go with the left foot. He's going to swing it in. He is, keep the keeper isolated.
Campuzano comes up, has a bobble, but got back to it in time.
He's swinging it in, which is good, but just got a little bit too close to Campuzano. He's going to eat that one up. Looking more for that far post. In those situations, Greg, you either want to keep the keeper on his line so he can't come out and you got an opportunity to take a shot, or you get him so far out, come and try to win the ball that you got an empty net behind him. So, but Quinn made the right idea, just didn't hit the proper ball that time.
Good read by Blake in the midfield. Again, trying to spring Foster with that speed. Finds Murphy with space. Lindley didn't get the right touch. Right idea. But the distribution a little bit too long from Monterey Bay's standpoint, and O'Brien will amble over and track this down. Well, Josh O'Brien, a guest of ours on Soccer Saturday on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. As was Hunter Solt, as was head coach Sean McCauley. Go back and listen, anchor.fm/Indy-11. Off the edge of the 6, quickly swept away.
Nice play, love that end line run, serving the ball back, looking for that one touch. Nice idea there by Indy 11.
Ivanovic the target. Quinn slows him for a moment. Has a few more bodies to get behind the ball. Paul just couldn't get there in time. Well, sometimes the match gets in the way of our promotional copy, but now this pause, I can go back. We had one more guest on the show today, and I was thrilled to have him on. Martin Rennie, former coach of the Indy 11, made his first appearance on the show in over 4 years.
Wow.
I can't believe it's been that long since he's been the head coach of the Indy 11. These days, he is a women's assistant coach at the University of Notre Dame. Great to catch up with Martin. His story's a good one. From Scotland, he has coached in Canada, the United States, in South Korea, has coached in ML. Foul against Cam Lindley.
I'll tell you what, Indy 11's defense, White, Musa, O'Brien, Murphy, and Lindley getting back. They have completely so far been able to stifle Monterey's attack. Done a really nice job this half. If I'm Coach McCauley, I'm pretty pleased defensively, keeping their shape, keeping their rhythm, making sure they're not overcompensating and going into unnecessary tackles. They've just been very disciplined back there, and it's shown. And they've so far, we got 10 minutes left in this half. They've done a nice job keeping Monterey out of their goal.
And simply put, some of the longer balls have not been on target for Monterey Bay either.
They're not playing the short game. It depends on the style they want to play. I know they've got some great players up top. They want to bypass that, but Indy 11's defense has been able to answer every single ball so far. So if I'm Monterey Bay, I'm looking to play a little bit more short game. Have one of the attackers come in, check back into the midfield, have the midfield better transition and support in the attack, staying better connected so they can utilize a little bit more possession. They haven't been able to do that yet. See if they can figure that out.
Foul against El Masamo. Indy 11 Soccer, sponsored by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission. Guzman, the player last to get up. Love the extended hand between Guzman and Amo, but Guzman, a veteran of this Monterey Bay team.
Yeah, he kind of, it looks intentional. He's falling, and then the foot comes in, but he had good body awareness there. He knew where he was putting his foot there, and not a cardable offense maybe, but certainly looked intentional to me.
Guzman's of age ago with San Diego Loyal.
And coming out of the back, Greg, Guzman has space, and he's not afraid to attack. He's not just a defensive player on the outside. He will go forward. So they had to be careful not to lose him.
And Lindley getting up on the pressure and does lead to a turnover. Rendon flying down the flank. Foster didn't see him. Murphy did. By the time he did, Monterey Bay was in position to recover. Crispin Kelp looking to launch the attack, but again, another errant pass. And again, part of that you think has to be the playing conditions, has to be the travel. How about this ball on a dime to reach Quinn?
Fantastic ball.
Foster with space. Trying to get that to his right foot. He does, and just steers it wide. Foster looking for his second goal in his last 2 championship matches. Just missed giving the Indy a 2-goal advantage.
What a fantastic ball to Quinn, though. That's a 60-yard pass. Quinn brings it down on a dime. And Foster, who, again, you witness his explosive speed. All you need is a half a step. He gets it, just doesn't get it quite on target. Hits the ball a little bit fat and just gets it a little bit wide. But you see how explosive he can be, and all he needs is a half a yard, Greg. He doesn't need a lot of space. He's had a couple of shots today. They haven't gone on goal yet, but I love how he's attacking. I love how he's actually creating opportunities for himself. And if he continues to do that, I'm not a gambling guy, but I'm thinking he might have one in him tonight.
McGowan Insurance Group and Auto Owners Insurance have teamed up to make tailored insurance policies for your family. Thanks to our friends at the McGowan Insurance Group. Hayden White told to retreat a little bit before launching this ball back into play.
You mentioned the fatigue or the conditions, Greg, for Monterey Bay. They just look out of rhythm. Their runs are off. Their distribution has been off. They just look a little bit out of rhythm.
Blake ends up getting clipped by the official, and she immediately offers hand and says sorry, but part of the game. That's kind kind of squelch the attack going forward for Monterey Bay as they'll just simply reset.
And Blake did start on up top on the left. Now look where he is. He's almost like a attacking midfielder,
which is frankly more of his nature.
It is. He kind of finds himself there, but he's able to get outside as well. So he's just.
Soyberg on the run, one touch, poked away, and again Indy got the ball first, even with a little contact there. It will be a corner coming for Monterey Bay, and again Paul continues to be dangerous.
Nice defensive play there by Indy 11. All you got to do is just stab it, just quick touch. Give up the corner, that's okay. You're not giving up a shot. But Paul just continues to really, really attract attention. And if you give him any inch or any space, he's going to punish you.
Final 5 minutes plus stoppage time brought to us by your Centrally Indiana Ford dealer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Monterey Bay plays it short.
Nice ball.
Ending ball. Up and over the bar. Sold enough to touch it.
It's a nice ball. Swinging away. Keep the keeper isolated. Try to get a one-touch redirect on there. Just got it over the bar. But that's a nice play by Monterey.
They won in their only visit here 2 years ago. Last 2 years, every team in the conferences played each other. This year, because of the Jägermeister Cup, that is not the case. You avoid 4 of the teams from the other half. Phoenix, Oakland, San Antonio, and New Mexico, the teams that Indy avoids this season. Indy will actually play one Western Conference team twice, and that will be Tulsa. And they'll see Tulsa here in the Jägermeister Cup coming up in 3 weeks. Indy wins that match, they win the group. Frankly, if Birmingham were to lose the night before, Indy wins that group. It is down to those 2 teams are the ones that can win it. Blake.
Nice turn.
Rendon. Probably better serve with more of a cross than a shot in that scenario.
Looked like he was trying to cross it, but it looked like between a pass and a cross. Capizano's all over that.
Window closed on him.
What Monterey has not done well, Greg, is in their midfield. Fair and Fanguk just have not been able to seemingly get connected to the attack. They're kind of bypassing the midfield and trying to go up top to Paul. So Fair and Fanguk, you just need to stay connected, try to support the attack a little bit better, and see if Monterey cannot bypass that midfield.
Advantage being played. Lindley gives the foul. Fair. Lindley saying that foul's from the other direction.
You love it when you just tear a guy down and then you complain about it.
And frankly, the advantage was played earlier because Quinn tried to foul the player and couldn't slow him down enough, knowing that he was somewhat beaten in a transitional moment.
Love it. This is an opportunity here for Monterey. Indy 11 is going to hold him on the 18, which is good. Maybe even get somebody offside. He's going to serve this ball over the wall there, over the line.
Two-man wall for the Indy 11.
Soyberg's got a good distribution too.
At the edge of the 6, O'Brien got there first. Blake got there next. Flag went up. Player went down for the Indy 11. That is O'Brien. That is going to take a moment. Indy 11 sponsor. Indy 11 Soccer is sponsored by Dormicaba. Dormicaba for every place that matters.
O'Brien's had a heck of a game, Greg. I mean, he's got a lot of work in front of him with Ivanovic and Paul. And he and Musa and White, I mean, they've done a great job back there.
Frankly, his story is somewhat similar to Cam Lindley, a guy that was a key piece last year that has found it tougher to find the playing 11 this year. And Lindley has kind of cemented that spot in the last month. Maybe O'Brien these last couple of weeks is saying, hey, it needs to be my spot defensively as well.
He looks good.
He's playing that left back role tonight. Well, it's a little bit different in a 3-back versus a 4-back. But it was McRobb that originally got the nod in place of Aiden Stanley. McRobb has played well, but O'Brien getting the look the last couple of matches.
The good news for Coach McCauley, he's got depth in the back, right? I mean,
Correct.
Stanley's out for the season, sadly. Ofemu's hurt. You got Hogan coming off the bench. I mean, they've got a really, really strong depth of defenders, and they can interchange anytime.
And Murphy.
He knew that when he hit it.
Yep.
He hit it wrong. Right when he hit it, he knew.
Playing against one of his former teams tonight in Monterey Bay. Monterey Bay 2 years ago was with Detroit City last year. Both he and Amo made the move from Hamtramck to Indy this season. Stay tuned. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear from the head coach of the Indy 11 and Sean McCauley. Let's take our look around the league. There was actually a busier night last night. 5 minutes of additional time yet to go in this half. Another giveaway by Monterey Bay. Not exactly a full slate of matches this season, but we'll monitor all for you. Coming up at halftime. And again, no post-game show tonight. So we had our extended pregame show because the fireworks take into effect immediately after the conclusion of tonight's contest. Quinn nudges it forward. Rendon just hanging around, and again, because of Quinn's effort, you get a corner kick at the other end of the park.
And that's what he does, and that's why Coach McCauley put him on the outside. He's isolated out there. They're not marking him up as much, and look what he's done. He's had 3-4 quality opportunities, including the goal for Indy 11. I mean, Quinn continues to find opportunities, and he's such an unselfish player too, Greg, because he's serving the ball more than he's ever shooting the ball. That's why he's got 5 assists leading the team.
Quinn goes all the way across the park.
He's going to swing this one in.
Back post. Defender got there first. Campazano goes down, and we play on. Players down in both directions. Now Monterey has a counter going with 2 players down behind the play.
Referee doesn't see it yet. Gonna let play go until he's...
Great toe poke. Now we'll go back to the other end and check on both Campazano and the defender that are down for Monterey Bay.
Yeah, there was a mix-up there, and that looked like, it certainly looked from our point of view, Greg, there was a foul on Indy 11 there, and it was play on. Monterey Bay players were screaming immediately.
I will say this. The contact with the keeper was by his own player.
They did connect.
Now, was there a foul after that against Musa? Probably.
It looks
inside
like
of the 18.
We'll get a replay here.
What I didn't catch is the defender that's down here.
Yeah, they connect with each other, yes. He runs into his own defensive player. The goalkeeper does that. He's getting undercut. Musa's undercutting him there. That is generally, I mean, a pretty simple, easy call there.
And obviously the player that is down near post, as we frankly need both trainers to go check on players. That player was tied up with Bruno Rendon, who's now being helped to his backside. Keeper was a case of running into his own teammate.
His own guy. Musa, though, undercut that player, and that's what Monterey was saying, that was a foul. Referee let it play on. So there's always that, you know, it's in live action.
It's Elijah Paul that is the player. Obviously, we get a good look at him and see that he was down. Campazano, the goalkeeper, just starting to stand up. He has played every minute in the championship this year. Now, they have played their backup in some Jägermeister Cup matches. But in terms of the championship, Nico has seen every minute of action, and obviously potentially an ankle or a foot issue that Nico was dealing with.
At first I thought it was his head, but it looks like when he came down, he had contact in the air with his own player, and when he came down, it looks like he came down really wrong on the right foot. Watch his right foot as he comes down. There's a twist where you can't really quite see it there, but the right ankle either buckles or...
He simply lands on it, Dan.
Yeah.
The good news for Monterey Bay is that if you can just kind of soldier through the next 2 or 3 minutes, you can at least get to halftime and then kind of say, okay, do you have to make a move or not? But the backup keeper is going to start to loosen. And they're going to make the switch.
Yeah,
Campazano's done. Yep.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's really, really unfortunate for Campazano and for Monterey Bay. You hate to see that.
So the league leader in saves going to have to exit the match. So his backup is Sam Gomez. Sam is getting the gear on as we speak. Well, we hope the Nico Campuzano long-term is going to be okay. Just unfortunate. Nico is from Spain, but played collegiately both Portland and Pittsburgh. Played with Lexington League One last year, and unfortunately his night is done. We saw this with the Indy 11 a couple of weeks ago in terms of having to use not one but two sub windows in the first half. But it is Gomez that will come on here, and again, here's another kind of zoomed in
great
look.
Camera work, guys. My goodness. Yeah, he looks like he just. You could call it. We don't know. It looks like he may have twisted it, but he definitely landed really, really poorly on that, and he can't even put any weight on it. Oh, you hate to see that. Campuzano and he looks like he's in just sheer agony. And goalkeepers are the toughest guys on the field. They don't go down easy, and when they go down and they're hurt, they're really, really hurt. They're not going to want to come out of the game. So you certainly hope he's okay and it's nothing long term. He just came down on it wrong.
I see Sam Gomez, who is from St. Louis. He's a Midwest guy. Played at SIU Edwardsville. Bending ball in that Salt gets to. So Gomez in, Campuzano done for the night. And again, we hope long term is going to be okay, but he is already being given crutches. That is not a good sign.
Oh, goodness, yeah. And Gomez coming in, you know, these players are ready to come in at any time. What Indy 11 has to do now, maybe not what's left of this half, but in the second half now, test him. He wasn't planning on playing tonight. Now he's in the game. Put him to the test and pick up the attack a little bit and put some pressure on Gomez.
Here's Murphy. Murphy's cut back. Intended for Blake, doesn't find him. So obviously we are well past the 5 minutes. I would say we're probably at least another minute in this. So our first half will be one of an extended variety. So first minutes for Gomez in the championship this year.
It's rare to see a player come off the field on crutches, Greg. That's rare.
That catches your attention, yeah.
Yeah, Campuzano's at the trainer's table now, and they didn't even stretcher him or walk him off. They gave him crutches immediately. That's really concerning.
Back to Gomez for a first touch. We'll look toward Natalie Simon in terms of a glance at the wristwatch, and again, good hustle by Paul. Rendon will not end up getting there. Paul won it back. Rendon was trying to shepherd that one across the byline, and Paul simply outworked him for it.
Great effort by Paul.
It'll end up being a goal kick for the Indy 11. Nothing comes of it, but that's a teach tape moment for Monterey Bay. And with a kid that, again, clearly is a talented player in Paul. He was the 7th pick in the MLS draft a couple of years ago. If you have that talent and you work like that, things are going to work out for you. It's going to be okay for you.
Absolutely. Rendon kind of, pulled up a little bit and didn't realize that Paul was not going to quit. He's like an athletic bulldog. Paul has speed, strength. He has the technical ability, and he's got the mindset to go with it. So you don't want to ever give a guy like that an inch. And Rendon gave him an inch and almost cost him.
Good job by Blake. Just timed that perfectly. Paul kind of looked towards the referee saying, that was a bit of a high boot. And she goes, hey, he got it cleanly. Didn't touch you, got all ball. That's a legal play.
Should be near the half here.
Amo wants it served up. Blake making a similar run, and Blake will get there first.
Blake has literally been all over this field tonight. So impressive. You can't mark him because you don't know where he is. He's like a ninja.
Cut back to Foster. Foster inside of the 18. Foster goes down.
PK.
Penalty. Well, with the added time, Indy gets a look from the spot. And the first real action for Gomez in goal will be trying to stop a kick from the spot.
Talk about coming off the bench cold, and you can look in the ball right down your throat here. And we've been talking about Foster this half. He's had a couple nice opportunities. That explosiveness that he has, I said he's going to create. He's going to continue to create. And here he does it again. He gets the ball here and just takes players on 1v1. A great give and go. 1v1, both players that clearly got taken down. That's an easy call for the referee. PK for Indy 11, but I love this. Takes it across, and he's looking to take that left-footed shot and gets taken down. So
again, Gomez has seen time over the last few weeks because of the Jägermeister Cup. He has 9 saves in Jägermeister Cup matches. So again, he's not coming in completely cold on the season, but his first activity of the night will be trying to slow down. It looks like Jack Blake will take it and not Quinn. He will also do so in front of the Brickyard Battalion. Quinn, the penalty taker in 2023. Blake, the penalty taker in 2024. He had the first goal of the season for the Indy 11 3 minutes in from the spot against Miami. Blake trying to reprise that role. Gomez at 6'1". What should be the last action of the half.
I like this. Blake has had a great half. Top it off right here.
And he made 7 days ago. They make 1 here. Goal for Jack Blake. It's a 2-goal lead for the Indy 11 heading into halftime.
Great shot. You know, in a PK situation as a shooter, the keeper's not supposed to save the ball anyway, so the pressure's on the shooter always. You pick your spot. You don't change your mind. You have a clean approach, and you strike it well. He did all of those things. Ball's in the back of the net. 2-0 Indy 11.
For Jack Blake, it is his 4th goal of the season. And for Indy, 2-goal leads had been problems earlier in the year. Again, defensively as of late, they've been a lot tidier at the back. A little more confidence in terms of the feeling right now for the Indy 11.
Yeah, and the whole thing started with that give and go, and Foster taking on that 1v1, taking on players with that explosiveness. They had nothing. They had no choice. Monterey had no choice but to take him down, and Foster creates that goal. Blake executes it perfectly. What a great half and a great lead here for Indy 11.
I can tell you this is one of the longer first halves in Indy 11 history. And with that, we're done. Well, Sean McCauley heading to our broadcast location. Second time out in the broadcast, he has had the time to speak with us. And again, this is a position we've not had a chance to talk to Sean about in terms of having a 2-goal advantage here at the half. And Sean is ready. Let's get to him now. Obviously, Sean, the conversation changed. What happened in the last couple of minutes? Just your thoughts as to what your team has done so far tonight.
You know, we had a good start and obviously got the goal and then had another chance with Bruno at the back post, and we needed that second goal. We definitely did, but we didn't do enough to get it, you know, when we let them into the game. And then after our goal, I thought they controlled the midfield a little bit, so we had to put Jack Blake in and change a little thing tactically. But overall, you know, I'm really pleased with the scoreline at the minute, but I think we can play better, and that's going to be the message. We're going to play better, and we have to go for the next goal as well.
What are you seeing from your team defensively so far, Coach?
Poor, really poor. We're caught in between. I don't mind the central centre-back having the ball, and then everybody else, we have to gamble and play man-for-man everywhere else. And the man then on the ball doesn't have any options, and that's what we've got to stick with. As soon as we start going half and half and not getting tight to people and tackle people, challenging people, if we're going halfway, they'll pass around us, and that's not good enough.
Got it, Coach. Thank you, sir.
Cheers.
Sean McCauley, head coach of the Indy 11. By the way, his team is up 2-0. You might not be able to detect that from the way his tenor was at the end of the half. Maybe that's a good sign for the second half for the Indy 11 as well. Indy looking for their 4th league win of the season. 2 goals to the good at halftime. Indy 11 2, Monterey Bay 0 on Wish TV and ESPN Plus.
I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but sometimes I get a little stressed because I'm not for sure what's going to happen down the road. I was at the cancer unit, and when I come out from seeing the doctor, I said something about needing some help with all the paperwork. They gave me a name and a phone number. Her name is Molly. She works over at Community. She tells me, stop worrying, let me take care of it. She is my angel.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormicaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
Tonight's match is presented by Community Health Sports Medicine, exceptional care simply delivered, and by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, a proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. First game of the month of July for the Indy 11. They hope that it's like the start and end of June. Those are both wins against Birmingham, but they were also matches when Hunter Solt was recognized as a USL Goalkeeper of the Week. Last weekend, it was as the Keeper of the Round for the Jägermeister Cup, both as the goalkeeper, but also won the Save of the Round as voted by the fans. And it was not the two stops that he made in the penalty shootout. It was the stop he made in the first half. And again, he was peppered with traffic, especially early in that match by the Legion. Now, he did let one in on an in-swinging ball on a set piece in the 94th minute. He couldn't get the clean sheet. Right now, he is in line for that, which would be his third of the season in championship play, all coming since June 4th. Obviously, 45 more minutes left to go, but the Indy 11 have just a bit more breathing room with that last-minute penalty by Jack Blake to make it Indy 11 2, Monterey Bay 0. We're back to Indianapolis after this. The summer of soccer is here with the Indy 11. And you've got the chance to win a getaway to Charleston, South Carolina. When you grab our Summer of Soccer ticket deal, you get 10 entries into the Summer of Soccer Getaway Sweepstakes for a chance at a trip or two with flights, hotels, and meals covered. All this while you get to have a blast with the boys in blue all summer. Get your tickets now at Indy11.com.
Wait, come back! Wait, come back, I need more help.
Take a look, take a look for free.
Today we went to the beach, and it was totally worth it. Stay 3 nights this summer at Best Western and get $50 off a future stay.
What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water unique? It's our commitment to making our bottles from at least 50% recycled plastic. In fact, Crystal Geyser is the only beverage company in the U.S. to exclusively own and operate 2 plastic recycling facilities. And you can help us make an impact too by always remembering to recycle your bottles. Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Simple, but not easy.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
And it's off to the races for Monterey Bay. It's Lawrence. Warren takes the shot. A banger to put Orange County up 3-1.
BYB taking a moment to rest. They'll be back up for the next 45. They're hoping to see a couple of more goals as well. Indy 11 has picked up some home wins, looking for one of a convincing fashion. Lead Monterey Bay 2-0 at the break. Let's take a look around the USL Championship. Let's start with the news and notes. And again, Albert Diqua, one of two players, Charlie Dennis the other, that record hat tricks in the Jägermeister Cup. Dan, part of the Jägermeister Cup is to encourage scoring. I would say they got in the Phoenix match. They beat Texoma of League One 5-4 last Saturday night.
Yeah, that's a shootout. That is a shootout.
And Lou City does what Lou City does. Last night on CBS Sports Network, they go to the switchbacks, the defending league champs. Philip Goodrum had the only goal of the match in the opening half. They win 1-0 at Widener Field. Lou City atop the East. Again, there is a bit of separation between Lou City, Charleston, and Loudoun. Indy, frankly, more concerned with making sure they get in the playoffs, and then they can worry about Lou City. For what it's worth, it's late in the year until Indy sees Lou City. They don't see each other for the first time until Labor Day weekend here on August the 31st. Here's a look around the schedule of the USL Championship and key matches around the league as well. Again, one more match tonight. Oakland and Detroit City. That's at the Coliseum in Oakland. Catch it on the CBS Sports Galazzo Network. Tomorrow on the CBS Sports Network, it is the Charleston Battery in North Carolina. That is a 5 o'clock kick. In terms of Friday night matches, North Carolina, Birmingham, and again, this Monterey Bay side takes on Orange County. That is national television. And folks, in case you didn't know this, every team in the league gets at least one national TV appearance this year. Monterey Bay and Orange County, Friday night, 9 o'clock, 6 o'clock Pacific time on ESPN2. And for the Indy 11, a team they played 3 times last year, and they were all classics. Rhode Island, head coach Cano Smith. These two teams face each other for the first time this season next Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Catch that locally on WRTV Channel 6 and online at ESPN+. Stay tuned. First half highlights, thoughts on half number 2. Come your way next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
The main part of my job is definitely listening. People deserve transparency. I don't want the financial part to be something that stops or hinders a patient from having the health care that they need. I try to treat each person like they're my mom or my grandmother, my daughter, my husband. I want them to know that they are not just another phone call for us. And it's very rewarding to know that I can provide peace of mind.
Stand by me. This is Paul. He loves running, music, and DIY home projects. In fact, he's remodeling his kitchen thanks to a home equity line of credit from Indiana Members Credit Union. They connected him with a loan officer, got him approved at a great low rate, and made it easy for him to make his monthly payment from anywhere thanks to IMCU's digital banking. Looks like Paul can do it all with a little help from IMCU.
Success doesn't come easy. It takes grit, hustle, and relentless effort. Every step forward brings you closer to greatness. This is your moment. Elevate your game. El Jimador Spiked Bebidas.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
Welcome back to downtown Indianapolis. There's like a 9-story Caitlin Clark picture on the other side of that JW Marriott right there. Back at Carroll Stadium, Greg Rakestraw, Dan Capsalis with you. Indy 11-2, Monterey Bay 0. We'll show you the first half highlights, but Dan, your thoughts on what we thought was an impressive 45 minutes for Sean McCauley's team.
You know, 2-0 lead going into halftime. That's not something that Indy 11's been doing lately, so this is a good sign. I thought they did a good job defensively, keeping Monterey Bay out of the box and no shots on target. So, Indy 11 has done a nice job. They're diversifying their attack. Monterey's got to figure out how to get Paul more involved. He's clearly their top guy.
Let's show you how we got here. Look at our first half highlights from the Indy 11. They got their opening goal of the match pretty early on. A little bit of a misdirection, but Aiden Quinn, the benefactor.
Yeah, Quinn does a great job. He's outside, keeps that ball in. Blake gives it back to him. These guys are they have such great chemistry. Quinn cuts it back. Looks like he's going to the right, goes off a defender's leg and in the back of the net. That's why you shoot the ball. Great, just quick little touch from the right foot to the left foot. And that's why you shoot. You never know what's going to happen, and Quinn does a great job.
Frankly, after that moment, Dan, the chances that were somewhat level. And again, some good ones belong to Monterey Bay, but most every time the ball was directed at Hunter Salt if it made it on target.
Yeah, Salt's been good. Number 20, Paul, here he is again. He's just big, strong, fast. He finds a way. Here he's going to take it to the end line, and he's going to find Soyberg coming through the top. And Soyberg, one touch. Nice opportunity, but right at Salt. Salt is there. Great positioning.
Again, 2 chances have been converted on by the Indy 11. This was probably the gaping opportunity they missed to even make it 3.
Again, Quinn on the service there. And then here's Foster. Great effort from Foster this first half. He's created a lot. Creates a PK here. Blake steps up and buries it.
Guzman or Gadiri, either way, that was a foul. Foster draws it. Blake converts it. His 4th of the season again for Sam Gomez. That was legitimately his first action of the match, replacing the injured Nico Campazano. Not exactly the way you're wanting that to work out. What of those numbers, Dan, jumps off the page to you?
Well, the possession. Look at the 67% possession by Monterey. That's what Coach McCauley's talking about. Indy 11 33. That's got to be closer to 45 to 50. So they're up 2-0, but that possession rate shows that Monterey is totally kind of controlled this game. But I'm shocked by that stat.
And I would tell you though that I don't feel that reflects the tenor of this game. Not that Indy has been dominant in a 2-goal advantage, but the possession that Monterey Bay had has not been, I guess, threatening enough to make you feel that way.
They've had, obviously from the statistic, they've had the main possession, but they have not capitalized on that at all. So they can have the possession without capitalizing. So it's good for Indy 11, but that stat certainly jumped off that page. Now, Coach McCauley talked about at halftime that they were getting beat in the midfield, and we'll see if either coach goes into their bench in the second half here and how they manage their bench. They each get 5 subs. We'll see how coaches manage that and go from there.
Only 4 available for Monterey Bay and only 2 more windows to use for Monterey Bay. And I would expect them, because of the weather conditions and, again, their acclimation to it, you may see an armada of substitutions for them there in the 60th minute. Blake on the cross to more of an area than a player in particular. The 3rd goal here might be lights out for the Indy 11. Amo has Quinn to his left. Garcia providing pressure. Foster again goes to turf, but not enough in it. Ivanovic.
Great D by Musa.
Well, they got Musa. Quinn continues the pressure. And that is one of the other teams forward, going all the way back to the byline, trying to maintain possession. That's a win for the Indy 11.
And what I like what Indy 11's doing, Coach McCauley, you're up 2-0. They've got the non-starter goalkeeper in Gomez in the goal for Monterey. Go at him. Don't hold back. You're looking for that dagger goal, that 3rd goal, and you're not going to sit back and just kind of hang out. That's not Coach McCauley's style. They're going to go forward and try to get that 3rd goal. I like it.
Foul whistled against Josh O'Brien. Today's match is brought to us by Dormicaba. Indy 11 Soccer, sponsored by Dormicaba for every place that matters. Speaking of Sam Gomez, he played last year for St. Louis City in Next Pro. We mentioned he's from St. Louis and played at SIU Edwardsville. He was the Ohio Valley Conference Goalkeeper of the Year 2 years ago, playing for the Cougars of SIUE. Ball headed, Amo turns on the Jets. Can he get around to the defender to get there? After you've got 1 penalty, you're not getting the second one.
Lindley turned around instantly and looking at the ref like, hey, we got another one here. There was a little contact there, but not enough to to assert that as a PK.
It has to be rather obvious for it to be a second one. You're not going to get that 50-50 call.
And you don't see that ball that often from Indy 11 over the top to Amo. It almost worked. It's worked in the past, but you don't see that ball very often. But that time it was on, and that's a great decision by Indy 11 to notice that and take advantage of that.
Well, flicked by Garcia, but again, O'Brien, the closest player to it. He's got Quinn in front of him and distributes to him now. Amo with 8 goals across all competition. Blake has matched in terms of championship goals with 4. Speaking of Blake, he wins the foot race against Guzman. Foster lines it up, leaves it for Murphy. Murphy, Rendon, Blake, back post, Amo heads it down, and Gomez sprays it. Corner kick coming for the Indy 11. I like the combination.
Yeah.
I frankly kind of wish that Foster went ahead and had a hit where he was inside of the 18.
Right here, he dropped it back to Murphy. But great combination play, like you said, Greg. I mean, just a great build-up. And they got a shot off. Far post. Guzman does a nice job to push it out. But I like the build-up with Indy 11 there. Great possession, good transition.
Murphy says enough of the cone. They need a little room to operate here.
He's going to swing this in.
And a foul called against the Indy 11.
Soyberg is down.
Let's go.
Didn't see what happened. A lot of guys in the box, right? All kinds of stuff can go on in there. People pulling, tugging, stepping on feet.
I was more locked into the back and forth that Murphy was having with the assistant coach from Monterey in terms of moving plates and cones all around the corner. In the years I've done this, am I about to see the first player/assistant coach fight? I thought that we were starting to head in that direction.
Yeah.
There was kind of a frisbee dog toss at one point in time in the corner.
Monterey players were warming up by the corner flag, and Murph didn't like the cone placement.
And again, Murphy played for Monterey, different staff. He played for Frankie Yallop, but played for Monterey Bay a couple of years ago. So,
now the referee's
now the
talking
coach
to
is
him.
being admonished by the referees, will saying, "Hey, back up."
She's right. She is absolutely right. I mean, you can warm up, but you can't interfere with the play. She's all over it. Nice call. 10 yards of track. You can warm up on that. You don't need to warm up on the turf all the time.
Good hustle back by Murphy. Throw in coming for the Indy 11. Indy 11 soccer is brought to us by Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, the power behind your mission.
Monterey looks like, they're going to have to push Soyberg forward. They're going to have to go forward. Down 2 goals. They have no choice but to keep pressing, which means that they're going to be pushing numbers up.
Ivanovic. Garcia lifts it around Blake. And again, Indy has had matches. They found a way back from 2 goals down. They've had matches where they've seen 2-goal leads evaporate. So this is far from over just yet.
Anything can happen, but they're in control right now. They got to stay disciplined and keep their shape, keep communicating.
Sports, this match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care, simply delivered. Musa tied up with Paul. And now space for the Indy 11. Murphy sizing up Amo. Quinn making the overlapping run. Amo plays it to him in stride. Quinn sends that one right off of Muir.
That's what I like about what Indy 11's doing on the counter. As Monterey's going to have to push forward and get numbers up to try to, find a goal and try to equalize this game. It's going to leave them vulnerable in the back with lots of space behind the midfield. If Indy 11 can get into that space, they're going to have plenty of room, just like Quinn just did. So if Indy 11 can get a quick transition from defense to offense, they're going to have some good opportunities to get that 3rd goal. Yeah, she's still moving the assistant coach. Is trying to warm up on the field, and they're having an argument.
It's a really simple concept.
This is ridiculous.
Don't put a plate on the line. Put it on the other side of the line.
What are you doing? It's ridiculous. Get off the field.
Amo, good looking header. Good job by Fonga just to spray it up and over the ball. But it will be a corner coming in.
And we're going back to
Let's see how Mr. Murphy handles this one.
We're going back to the...
we may practice a technique called laying out, just to kind of listen to the conversation.
Seriously, I've never seen that. Where the players warming up do not get out of the way for the player taking the corner. They've been admonished 3 times, twice by the referee and once by Murphy. And all 3 of them are right.
It seems a bit more civility is prevailing on this one.
Yeah, this one looks better, but goodness.
A couple of subs are about to head to the bench already for Monterey. Looking back post. Amo got ahead to it. Player down for the Indy 11 is Rendon. We play on. He's quickly back up. Blake has a pocket of space, and he is found now. Murphy redirects, but flag goes up. Musa had just drifted behind the line of engagement. Offside flag against the Indy 11. That was from the training pitch.
And you see O'Brien for Indy 11 going all the way up and getting involved in that restart. That's what, that type of versatility, and it's tough to mark guys up that you don't expect to see on the 6.
Indy 11 soccer brought to us by Morales Group Staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies, while driving results to your bottom line, increasing productivity and reducing labor costs. You'll be hearing more about the Morales Group throughout the course of the half. They'll bring us all the substitutions, and Monterey Bay is about to make a couple of them soon. And this cross, well, stays in play. Rendon now will hit this one towards downtown Indianapolis.
Here comes Foster.
There's the speed of Foster. And Lara did not get that the way he wanted to, but Gomez hustling over, and well,
they cleaned that up.
I would say he made lemonade out of lemons. That's probably the best way I can put that.
That was a blunder, and they got away with that. But you see Foster, that pursuit was fantastic. He was not going to stop and maybe get a break there. Almost did.
Xavi Naolati and Grant Robinson are to the 4th official and ready to enter the match when given the opportunity. And they'll be waved on here. So substitutions coming on in minute 55. Moby Fair will exit for Monterey Bay. And our substitutions brought to us by Morales Group Staffing, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies. So Fair done for the night. And also exiting for Monterey Bay is Sammy Gaderi. Robinson, again, one of those guys that has been around the block with this Monterey Bay team. One of very much the veterans of this group. Spent all 4 years with the franchise. This is his 10th appearance of the season. Has made over 60 appearances in total.
Coach Stewart going early to the bench here, trying to get some fresh legs in. Good call.
Which frankly was the plan going into the match, let alone when you're chasing the match 2-0.
Right. Now he's got to, not only have to attack, but you're going to see probably a couple more substitutions. He's got one left.
One window to make two.
To make two, right.
Yep.
So, see what he does with that. But it's a good call to get some fresh legs in, try to mix it up a little bit. Xavi's got some attacking prowess on him as well.
Now Lottie getting his 10th appearance of the season. Almo trying to hold things up. Xavi with his first touch of the match. Good read by Blake. Well, if there is an area where you feel Indy has won the match, it would be in the midfield. And frankly, that needs to be the case. That's where the strength of this team is in the midfield.
Right, and that statistic we saw at halftime, Greg, with Monterey having a 67% possession rate, basically it was coming from their attack. But Indy 11 has done a nice job. You would never guess if that was the case. I think Indy 11 has done a nice job in midfield. Lindley and Murphy in the middle, really connected, and their discipline, with their transition. I thought this looked really well.
Foul called against Monterey Bay.
They're looking for Paul. They have to look for Paul. What I'd like to see Paul do, he's running away from the play. His runs are away from the ball. Maybe sometimes he can check to the ball, create some space for himself, and play off of that. They're trying to find him, but it's a tough ball to deliver when he's always running away from the ball.
Fans, you can show your Indy 11 Pregame exclusive IMCU Indy 11 debit card at any IMCU branch or online at imcu.com today.
Not to mention, Paul has a guy by the name of O'Brien who's just shadowing him everywhere, making it really difficult for him to get any space at all.
Foul against the Indy 11. Well, each of the last 2 weeks, O'Brien would have been a candidate for us to have him on the postgame show. Last week, the problem was that we went to penalty kicks, and we had about 2 minutes to talk to Sean McCauley, and that was it. Tonight, no postgame show. Foul called against the Indy 11. Here's an opportunity for Monterey Bay. It's outside of the 18. But kind of given the way this game is going, you feel if they're going to pull one back, it has to be kind of a set-piece opportunity like this one.
Yeah, and they're gonna this is an obstruction foul. It's pretty simple call. White just steps in. Yeah, that's an easy call. So you see 9 people from Monterey right now, 8 people in the box. They have to push and press. What that's going to do is just overload that. All of the Indy 11 players are behind the ball, serving this ball to the far post. If Indy 11 can get this ball back, they've got about 90 yards of open space in a quick transition. Let's see what they come out with. But this ball is going to be served by Soyberg over to the far post, swinging away from the goalkeeper.
Soyberg does have 2 assists on the season to go with 3 goals. Bending ball in, and Salt able to hang on to it. And now tries to win the foot race. And his distribution was affected. Here comes the whistle.
And we got a card.
And that will be a call.
No question. Impeding play, total obstruction. Salt couldn't get the ball off. But you see that how much space they had in that transition, right? Great play by Salt, too, on that service. I mean, he came out well, timed it right. Those are the kind of things that he's doing so well. They look routine, but they're not. I mean, you've got to time it right. You've got to go up. You got defenders around you. You got a lot of people going around you. You see it here. He's coming out. And, yeah, you clearly can't get in front of the goalkeeper.
It was Muir that drew the whistle. It was probably more Lara than it was Muir, but he'll get the yellow, his 3rd of the season. Oliver Bernays, by the way, will be the first Indy 11 substitution of the match. He's got the kid on, and we'll head to the 4th official momentarily. And win by Musa. Quinn able to track it down.
Quinn's had a great game.
We've said that for about 12 years in this league.
Just...
Ball chipped in. Kanamo get there? No, but Guzman will sidewind this one for a throw in for the Indy 11.
Just love about Quinn, as we talked about it in pregame, the consistency. He just does not give anything up. It's just constant, and it's incredible to watch.
Quinn sends it in, headed clear. Soyberg, there's Quinn stepping in. Foster the touch to Lindley. Lindley has shown he can go from that distance. He'll play it to a teammate this time instead. Muir heads it away. Fanguk.
Lindley loves to be the playmaker. He loves to set people up.
Opportunity here, 2v3 at the back. Xavi. Bump by Murphy, and enough. No, handball is called, saying that it was not.
Interesting.
Is that going to change? Let's see.
There was definitely contact. Coach Stewart is not happy about that. He's arguing with the 4th official right in front of us here, and there was some contact in the back. Looked like a foul. You see it here. Xavi's coming through here. Murphy comes in and just kind of knocks him, and then he grabs the ball thinking it's a foul.
So
instead she called the handball. He thought it was an easy call, but referee saw it differently. It clearly, in replay, even in live action, it looked like a foul on Murphy. So Coach Stewart probably has the right to be upset on that one.
Murphy nudges it forward. Musa and Ivanovic, they've been together all night. Hall goes down and draws the whistle. Pat Hogan also getting the gear on for the Indy 11. And Garcia and Quinn continue to scrap for the ball. Indy getting their first substitutes lined up as well.
Again, we'll go back to talking about Quinn again, Greg. I said it earlier in the pregame. Let's look at the interesting. These guys embellish. They forget there's video replay that shows that the part of the body they're holding wasn't the part of the body that actually got hit. That embellishment is can challenge the viewers. When we talk about Quinn, said earlier, he's like the sun coming up. He's so reliable every day, every game, every minute. To be that consistent over that period of time, it's remarkable.
Tonight is his 276th appearance in the league.
It's remarkable.
He is 5th in terms of career appearances in the championship, 2nd in terms of minutes played.
And productive, not just playing. I mean, he's creating, he's competing, he's challenging.
Last 2 subs of the game, about to enter the 4th official for Monterey Bay. And that tackle won by the Indy 11 and played off the Monterey Bay player. Well done by Bruno Rendon. Bruno, the League One Defensive Player of the Year. Last year for Northern Colorado Hailstorm. It has been an adjustment for him to play at this level. Second Cuban-born player to play for the Indy 11, Adrian Deespay being the other. So Indy has Breneas and Hogan, both with the gear on, but both going back to warm up. Tonight's match is brought to us by Community Health Sports Medicine, official sports medicine provider of the Indy 11. Exceptional care simply delivered.
I can see Breneas coming in for maybe Rondon.
Musa
fresh legs out there.
Takes a tumble and fouled by Paul. Larson will come on for Monterey Bay. And Malongo will join as well. They had to make an earlier sub in case just joining us. Gomez came in for the injured Campazano at the end of the first half. Our next set of substitutions again brought to us by the Morales Group. So barring a head injury, this is the end of the substitutions for Monterey Bay. And again, we thought they would burn through them a little earlier tonight. Well, obviously weather conditions have eased a bit with the later start this evening. Morales Group Staffing offers flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies.
Malongo's a goal scorer. Fresh legs.
Eli Malongo from Malawi. Last play for the Chattanooga Red Wolves. Elijah Paul exits. Amo makes contact with Muir. Draws the whistle. Malongo on the season, 3 goals and assists. He's played in every match this year. Well, every one but one, 15th appearance of the season. 5th as a reserve. Blake gets in the way twice.
Larson's for Monterey's been able to put the ball in the back of the net too. So Malongo and Larson coming in, trying to give Monterey a spark. See if they can pull it off.
Well timed by Rendon. It will be a corner. That's a second good one on the flank by Rendon in the last couple of minutes.
O'Brien and Musa have had their hands full with Paul, and so far they have kept him at bay. No pun intended, or was that
very much a pun intended?
That was pun intended.
That is a broadcaster pun. Well done by you. You're picking things up in your rookie season. So right now it's Monterey Bay subs 5, Indy 11 0 on that total. Indy has all of their reserves getting ready if need be. And now Breneas and Hogan are being summoned by Gabe Zapponi. Celebrated a birthday this week. One of the birthday shout out to share coming up in a matter of moments. Bending ball in, Salt gets his mitts on it.
Again, his timing, anticipation, execution has just been flawless. Again, for Salt.
Quinn. Amo to his right, Blake to his left. Blake is the option. Foster wants it all the way across the park. We'll go the short route instead. Now Murphy delivers to that direction, but to Rendon first. Foster using that speed, trying to weave around Robinson, but now Foster comes up a bit lame at the end of that play. Opportunity here for Monterey Bay. It's 3v4 at the back. Murphy streaming back to provide some help. At the edge of the 18, charging forward, Salt. There's another stop. Not out of danger just yet. The attack continues. And off the side of the foot, Salt has to lift it up, but over the bar, it will be a corner.
You see Malongo there, instantly creating an opportunity. Another strong player. He's coming in. One-on-two splits both Indy defenders. Gets the shot off. Salt does a nice job. Couldn't hold on to it, but keeps it out of the goal. You see Malongo coming in and really just making a difference instantly.
Tough angle, but Salt could not take the chance. So subs coming on for the Indy 11. Malik Foster done for the night. Going to be replaced by Oliver Bernays. And Hogan coming on as well. He's going to replace Bruno Rendon. Our substitutions again brought to us by the Morales Group. Morales Group staffing offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiency. Corner coming. Now Lottie will take it.
Well, they don't want to be Indy 11 doesn't want to keep giving up restarts, but defensively they've answered the call every time.
The sports this match is brought to us by your Central Indiana Ford dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 Soccer. Visit your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Guzman bending ball in, and again, there is Salt.
Monterey doing a decent job of trying to create the opportunity, but everything's going down the middle and into Salt, who's just going to scoop those up easily. They've got to get the ball a little bit more outside, far post, away from Salt, and try to isolate him a little bit. They're throwing balls and serving balls in that are really simple for him to scoop up.
The USL on CBS kicks off July with a hot showdown of the championships Eastern Conference. Last season's runner-up in Rhode Island takes on Hartford Athletic. Oh, I love the nickname of this. El Clamico. Saturday, July 19th, 4 o'clock Eastern on CBS.
You like that stuff.
I'm a fan of clam chowder, brother. I'm down with it.
I'm with you. One of my all-time favorites.
I forget which one of Mike Watts or Devin Kerr gets credit for El Clamico, but it is. If LA Galaxy and LAFC is El Trafico, then Hartford and Rhode Island can be El Clamico.
I like it. I like it.
In a later start than normal, knowing we've got post-match fireworks after this one. Indy 11 2, Monterey Bay 0. It's been that way since halftime.
Indy 11 has dropped Quinn into the middle a little bit. More of a attacking midfielder. He's not as much on the outside, so shifting things up a little bit with Indy 11.
He still has 3 subs they can use if deemed necessary. Lara sends it in, finds Ivanovic. Musa with him step for step. Couldn't get the cross away, and Musa only stopped the cross but kept it in play. And again, Amo doing what he does. How about that feed? Breneas with fresh legs. Breneas avoids one defender, but cut off by numbers 2 and 3.
Another player for Indy 11 that has the space, speed that he can get into. Breneas does a nice job and just couldn't quite get that one, but you see the effort. And if Indy 11 continues to do that quick transition and move that ball forward, they're going to catch Monterey defensively short. So you want numbers up on transition. If they can do that, they're going to put themselves in a nice situation to get that third goal away. They don't need Indy 11 does not need another goal. But getting that third one is always comfort zone. As everybody knows, 2-0 in soccer is the most dangerous lead there is, because the game can switch instantly. So that third goal is always extra insurance.
Thank our friends, the Denny Companies, tearing down the past so you can build the future. That was not a foul on Murphy. That goes back to a previous spot. We start coming here for the visitors. It was their second home league win of the season. They've won here in the U.S. Open Cup. They got a shootout win in the Jägermeister Cup last week. Only other home win, though, was championship play was 3 weeks ago against Pittsburgh. Lara, an unchecked run into the attacking third. Good find to Ivanovic. And Musa with him. Musa at 33. Playing a far greater role this year than he did last year. He was a mid-season acquisition. In fact, he made his Indy 11 debut 1 year ago today. A 3-3 draw against Rhode Island. Veteran of numerous USL Championship seasons. A guy that has played over 200 times in league action in his career. Blake will give chase. Gomez, frankly, hasn't to do much here in half number 2.
No, the Indy 11 has not really had a lot of pressure on him or created some opportunities. There's a lot of space in the midfield and behind the midfield defense of Monterey Bay if Indy can take advantage of it, but they haven't been able to test Gomez very much. You're going to see Monterey continue to press and push.
Bending ball in that Musa will steer sideways. That will be a throw-in. The Summer of Soccer presented by Indy Roof and Restoration. It runs through this coming Saturday, July 12th. Follow Indy 11 on social media to learn more about how you can take part in the Summer of Soccer promotion. A chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to Charleston, South Carolina to watch the boys in blue on Saturday, September the 6th. Mueller. Guzman. Right idea on that ball, just overcooked it. You saw the run, you saw the tactical line of thinking, just didn't hit it properly, and we will have ourselves our hydration break as we are now in minute number 75.
Well, you see Monterey picking it up a notch. They're trying to, their services are coming from the midfield, and they're going into Salt pretty easily, and Salt's able to read that. The more time you give him to read a play, a ball's coming out 35, 40 yards, he's got time to make a decision.
I feel like this is the 7th inning stretch. Could kind of move around a little bit.
Good.
A little bit of a break. Here's what's coming up next for the Indy 11. Again, Rhode Island here next Saturday night. Then the Friday night match in Cary against North Carolina FC. Then back here for the Jägermeister Cup group stage finale against FC Tulsa, July 26th. The Rowdies are here, who just beat the Indy 11 10 days ago. That match here on August the 2nd. Then August the 9th and August 16th. You can see those on ESPN Plus, but I will tell you those will also be local television calls for us in Indianapolis. So be sure you're checking your local television listings as to where you can find matches against Detroit City and Loud United. And here are the two tallies, both in half number 1 for the Indy 11.
Yeah, Quinn to Blake, Blake to Quinn. Quinn looks like he's going to go with his right foot. Oh, it takes it back, takes it to the left, gets it off a defensive foot, back of the net. Just a great play. Great fake there by Quinn. He's had such a great game above and beyond the goal. And then give and go with Foster. Foster goes through 2 guys, gets taken down in the box with a great effort. Blake steps up and buries it.
For both Quinn and Blake, their 4th respective goals of the season. And Indy has maintained that 2-goal lead now for the last 30-plus minutes of the match.
I like the changes both teams have made. You know, Monterey trying to get Xavi and Malongo in there. Get them in the attack mode a little bit. Larson in there. And get some fresh legs with Indy 11 with Bernays and Hogan. So both coaches going into the bench and making very strategic moves.
Murphy goes to ground and will draw the foul. And Murphy, an absolute grinder for the Indy 11.
Yeah, another player who just grinder's a great word for him. He gets hit in the back here. Yeah, there's an elbow. The elbow comes up. That's a foul. Player, questions the referee, but that was clearly a foul. But Murphy, yeah, another just a warrior is what he is. He's just a warrior.
Went over 10,000 minutes in the championship earlier this year. The
Great
flick
ball.
by Quinn to find Breneas. Breneas on the cross. Blake a couple of times, couldn't get off his boot. Murphy couldn't get there in time. It should be a throw-in, though, for the Indy 11. It will be.
What a ball by Quinn. I mean, it was like a half bike onto the foot of Breneas over the defender. Wow.
I'll use my favorite Rick Carlisle quote for Quinn. He knows the geometry of the game, does he not? The ball takes a turn off Breneas.
So fun to watch.
Or it did not. It is last touch by the defender. It did never touch Breneas. So with that,
watch this pass here. Just flicks it over, and he knows Breneas is going there. Puts it on a dime. Blake just can't quite get the first touch and get that shot off. But that's like a no-look pass in basketball, right? That's exactly what that was. Quinn knew Breneas was making that run and found a way to get it to him in such a creative manner.
Corner coming. It's Murphy. Bending ball in. Monterey Bay gets there first. Blake gets in the path. Does a great job of holding up the Monterey Bay player in Malongo. Blake's ball, and he was trying to find, I think, O'Brien back post was the goal there. Hogan racing back. Larson to his left. Ivanovic providing assistance. White with the read.
Ivanovic from Monterey has struggled tonight. They haven't gotten him involved. He just hasn't had that same level of effectiveness that he'd like to have. Just hasn't been a key factor for Monterey tonight.
Blake is onside. Lara kept him onside, or no, he didn't. Thought he did. As he slows, the flag had gone up. Romario Williams and Edward Shiza about to enter the fray for the Indy 11. Night is done for Elvis Amo. So Jack Blake, is the other. He is sprinting towards the bench. Our substitutions brought to us by Morales Group Staffing, offering ability in both staff. Goal from the spot. Second penalty made of the season. Amo exits as Romario Williams, who was away for a month on international and Gold Cup duty, representing Jamaica.
Nice game by Amo and both Blake.
Well, I would think
hard-working players.
We could see Romario Williams be absent for parts of September and October as well, because Jamaica is one of 12 teams that'll be competing for 3 spots from CONCACAF to go along with Canada, the United States, and Mexico in the World Cup of next year. Central Indiana Ford Dealers, proud sponsor of Indy 11 soccer. As your local Ford dealer today for great deals on your favorite Ford vehicle. Quinn. Breneas. Quinn. Lindley. Overlapping run by Breneas. Breneas cuts it back, but Romario will forget.
He's had an incredible game. He's had an incredible game. He's had his hands full with Ivanovic and Paul. I mean, he's had his hands full tonight. So is O'Brien.
Quinn.
Yeah, the 3 backs that have anchored this defense for Indy 11 tonight, White and O'Brien and Musa, just been phenomenal. And it's a clean sheet right now, and a lot of credit goes to their defensive play and defensive shape and their discipline.
The Sports Match is brought to us by the Keystone Group, specializing in transformational developments, construction management, and investments. Well, of note, when Hogan came in, O'Brien actually bumped forward. It's kind of more of that right midfield wing. We've seen Josh start to play that a little bit for the Indy 11.
Yeah, he can do it. He's versatile.
Young man that, instead of going to the University of Washington, ended up latching on at Watford before playing for a couple of years professionally in England and Scotland before returning back to the U.S. last year. Last week, his first goal in nearly 13 months for the Indy 11.
And it's not easy to change positions late in the game like this too, Greg, especially when you go from the back to midfield, because outside mid, you're expected to take up more space and do a lot more, transitional runs. So that can be challenging, but Coach McCauley, obviously very, very strong in his decision, and O'Brien can handle it.
And he's trying to hang on to a clean sheet in league play. They had one here against Miami. in the U.S. Open Cup. Their first 2 matches were of clean sheet variety in the Jägermeister Cup. They did so at Birmingham and home to Pittsburgh to start the month of June. For a second win in as many years against Monterey Bay. Won 1-0 last year. Coast. Williams, time to empty more smoke out of the Brickyard Battalion. 3-goal lead and all 3 points will go to the Indy 11 this evening.
Fantastic. I was just about to say, watch Cam Lindley, because we said it last game, he knows where he's going to play the ball before he gets it outside, comes across, and Williams just buries it. But that play starts with Lindley looking for Bernays on the outside, cutting it across, and Williams just a beautiful one-touch redirect. What a great goal.
You know, frankly, there have not been many easy wins for the Indy 11 this season. The only one was the first one of the year when they scored 3 in the first half against Miami FC. 3-goal lead here in minute number 84, and it has been as solid of a performance from start to finish that Indy has had all season long.
Just brilliant. A brilliant pass by Lindley out to Bernays, who's got that speed, 5-6 yard burst, drives it across with left foot. Williams finds it on the other end. That's just a brilliant goal, and Indy 11 is clearly in the right position now.
By the way, when you score a goal, go find your son on the railing.
Yeah.
Go give him a hug. Well done, Dad.
Love it.
Good job by Romario.
Hey, you forget these guys, you know, they're not that old, but you know they've got families, they got kids here. They're showing off for the wife and the family. It's good.
Romario, his 63rd career goal in the USL Championship.
Very impressive.
He's approaching 10,000 minutes in his championship career as well. Elliot Collier looks like will be the final substitution tonight for the Indy 11. And he had the late game winner last year against Monterey Bay. He will not be asked for such heroics this time around.
And that goal, Greg, you know, going up 3-0 and just under 10 minutes to go. That's a deflating goal for Monterey Bay. They're not coming back from a 3-0 deficit in 10 minutes. So while they were trying to press and push people forward and try to get that, you know, cut the lead in half, went the other way. And they know at this point that they're not going to win this game, and a little demoralized for them.
By the way, for Bernays, that is his second consecutive game with an assist. He may be looking for more here. Bernays, right idea, great defending on an island by Muir. If he does it, Romario Williams is in again.
Muir makes a great play there.
Looking for the best deal in town, Mr. Capsalis? Check out the all-new Pabst Blue Ribbon deck next time you're at Carroll Stadium. When you're not working, say when Brad's doing the game, you can enjoy a $3 PBR all game long. In fact, multiples of them. Tickets are available at Ticketmaster.com or the Indy 11 box office. Day of game, Pabst Blue Ribbon, because you deserve a blue ribbon. Collier on, O'Brien off. That is our final Morales Group staffing substitution of the game, offering flexibility in both staffing and operational efficiencies.
Great game by O'Brien, just solid.
This would be the night, you know, if you were going the other style of football and you gave a game ball, just give a game ball to everybody.
You know,
you just feel good about this one.
You couldn't pick one guy. I mean, Quinn stands out, and certainly Blake had a great game. All the defenders, you know, with White and Musa and O'Brien, I mean, and they've had their hands full, and they've just handled it so well. Yeah, you need 10 game balls tonight. And Salt, who makes it look simple back there, but, you know, he's come up big.
Quinn.
I don't think they're done.
Murphy. The connectivity is fun to watch for the Indy 11. Williams finds Hayden White. White steers it in. Williams lining it up. Just couldn't get everything he wanted to on this one, and we're gonna stop more because of almost a player injury more than anything else.
Little contact there,
yeah.
but
It was Garcia as a player that is down.
The 11 doing a nice job. Just the combination play, the movement off the ball. They're communicating well. They're playing the ball to feet. Here's the ball coming in. Yeah, a little contact there.
Well, frankly, this is the Indy 11 team that we kind of expected to see out of the gates this year. We've seen it in fits and starts. This will put them above the playoff line.
Well, I know at halftime, you know, we talked to Coach McCauley, and he's pretty critical. Felt like he got beat in the midfield. The defense wasn't doing as well, but tough to be disappointed with this result. So I would think he would be very pleased with the second half effort.
I really like what Bernays is doing on the left side. His speed late in the game. Williams couldn't make the cutback.
Yeah, he has that burst and fresh legs coming in.
Speaking of burst, here's Larson. Hogan, great job to be physical without fouling. He walked that line perfectly.
Shoulder to shoulder, all legal.
We will have a few minutes of added time here. We had a hydration break and the goal, numerous subs. Monterey Bay trying to avoid the clean sheet. And this was always going to be a tough ask for Monterey Bay. Lengthy travel. Frankly, the teams in the West have to travel more than those of us in the East are spoiled with how close everything is from a driving distance standpoint. And Romario stopped because he knew he was off. Yep, that's self-policing there by Romario.
AR was about to throw the flag up and said, I'm play on, it's going back to Gomez, and Gomez has plenty of time, and he was off by about 15 yards, so it was pretty close. Kind of like when you run a red light, and you know you're running the red light.
You might as well go ahead and do it. It's too late.
It's way too late.
Bernays. They played his college soccer in the States, then went back home to Sweden to play professionally. Playing pro in this country for the first time. Garcia will take a minute to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, I think really tactical, really great tactical moves, substitution-wise, by Coach McCauley in Indy 11. I mean, they brought in guys that they haven't missed a beat. In fact, they've stepped it up the notch because they're fresh legs and they're quality players. I mean, the depth that they have in Coach McCauley utilizing it in these particular tactical moments has been brilliant.
The next time that Indy and Monterey Bay will be brought up in the same conversation is not too far from now. Nothing to do with soccer. Laguna Seca, the IndyCar Series, the famous corkscrew, great road course that the IndyCar Series will visit in the next couple of months. That is usually the connective tissue between these two towns.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Rakestraw is not reading anything. This is all off the top of his head. It's insane.
I was lucky enough to visit Monterey about 8 years ago and fell in love with the place.
Wow.
Part of the most gorgeous real estate and landscape we have in our country.
Wow, never been.
So to all you watching from Monterey Bay, just know I am very envious of the weather you're having right now. In fact, Rob in audio is bragging. He's heading to Laguna Seca coming up in a few weeks. IndyCar is in mid-Ohio tomorrow. Of course, last week was Racing Indy Night for the Indy 11, the special IMS-inspired warm-up kits. Those are available at shop.indy11.com.
Muir's had a nice game for Monterey.
Yep.
I mean, he's had a good presence, good defensive skill, good defensive shape and discipline.
Malongo keeps that in. Salt the sprawling save. That's, frankly, the most effort has been required of him tonight. Had a lot of traffic, but it's just been directly at him for the most part.
Wasn't a clean hit, but he comes up big again.
Bernays has Williams to his right. Bernays lines it up, plays it across. Collier was the target. Could not deliver it. And obviously, from an outcome standpoint, this is decided. Is there one more moment of glory going in either direction? Well, thanks to Adam and Rob and Greg. Thanks to Alex and Josh and Clem and everybody involved. Charlie, too, in our broadcast tonight. We said we had a birthday wish and never got back to it. Thank goodness we got a couple of minutes here. The wonderful Indy 11 fan behind the Indy 11 UK Twitter account, Tom Cuniff, celebrated a birthday this week. Happy birthday, Tom. And if you are still up watching this match at what would be 2:34 in the morning British Standard Time, there's your reward, Tommy. Happy birthday to you.
And Indy 11, we talked about one of the keys of the game before the game started, Greg. Do not let Monterey get shots off inside the box. And they have executed it to perfection and on the verge of getting a clean sheet here. Salt makes another Another nice save.
And you see the players from Monterey Bay, a couple of players both being kind of stretched out and kind of at the end again. It's part of what makes playing in this country so difficult. And if you are now maybe following more of British lower level soccer because of the Welcome to Wrexham story, you hear about, complaining about these long bus rides that are like 5 or 6 hours. Buddy, this is a 3 time zone flight that Monterey spent to get here.
It's tough. And then you deal with the weather factor.
Collier plays it across. Could not get it to go.
It's culture change. It really is. And you have to really find a way to adapt. I mean, Fangook right now for Monterey he's cramping up. He can't even walk.
Yeah, just sit down.
He's going down.
You've got a minute left of the match. Just sit. Yeah, just sit. Let him help him to the sideline and say, hey, stay there. We'll play a man down for 40 seconds and call it a night.
It's tough. It's tough, and it's been a high-paced game. These guys have really, really worked hard.
And it's not like the guys from Indy 11 are in better shape. It's just the weather has been like this for the last 3 weeks. We're more accustomed to it. Your body has time to get acclimated to it.
Absolutely. It plays a factor. It really plays a factor, and you're seeing it tonight in Monterey. They've just run out of gas. Even with their subs coming in and new fresh legs coming in, they just look gassed out. And Indy 11's continued to just come out.
No need. Yep, just stop it right there. Yep. You can stop the fight at this point.
Yeah.
3-0 for the Indy 11, their most dominant win of the season so far. Goals in the first half for Aiden Quinn, and from the spot jack play for Mario Williams made it 3 late. And any doubt about this one.
Great win for Indy 11. They deserved it. They played well. They played hard. They took advantage of opportunities. Defensively, they were strong. Great win.
We'll take a quick timeout and come back with a quick wrap-up before the fireworks begin to explode across the Indianapolis night sky. Back to wrap it up next on Wish TV and ESPN+.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.
Every place has a purpose, and the people who inhabit those places have their own reasons for being there. The last thing on their minds should be concerns about the safety of the places they are in. When it comes to security and safety for all the places that matter, Dormakaba offers a seamless flow of integrated solutions that allow people to move securely about their daily lives. Because the places that matter to you matter to us.
It's very true that it takes a village to raise a child. And when it comes to my healthcare village at Community Health Network, it's all nestled right in my phone. Accessing healthcare is the ability to be connected with your provider and ask a question when you need it. I feel like when I'm meeting with a community nurse practitioner or doctor, they're tuned in to what is going on with me and the way that they can serve me best.
Stand by me. Find it. Try it. Paint it. Love it. Find it, try it, paint it, 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 love it, love it, love it, love it.
Welcome back for a final time this evening in no extended post-game show tonight. We had the pregame show because of the late start, because of the fireworks. And for the Indy 11, they'll enjoy the fireworks after a 3-goal victory against Monterey Bay tonight. Let's get to our lockdown play of the game. A lot of guys can take credit for a clean sheet. 3rd in league play for the Indy 11. We're going to highlight Bruno Rendon. Dan, what do you see here?
You know, as the ball's coming across, he just clearly comes in and just cleans the ball out, gets all ball, and he just shutting plays down. He just shutting plays down. Every single time he gets through there and tracks him down well. Here's Paul with the strong player and does a great job timing his slides there. Just gets all ball, clean play. Great defensive play by Rendon.
Those are our lockdown plays of the game. They are brought to us by Schlage. Now it's time for our Securing the Win, brought to us by Allegiant. Again, it's our securing the win moment. And tonight it was goal number 2 from the spot, earned by Malik Foster and converted by Jack Blake.
Foster gets through 2 guys. They've got to take him down or he's going in. And then Blake just steps up and just says, oh, yeah, take this.
This team has had better results as of late. They have been kind of the 1-0 grinder games. You need a few breathers every once in a while. And tonight was that night. Everybody played well for the Indy 11.
Collective effort, team effort, what a coach wants to see. They got the win, and great night for Indy 11.
Dan, final thoughts on this one.
I really like the way Indy 11 played. Monterey fell short. They just couldn't find the rhythm. They ran out of gas toward the end, but credit to Indy 11. They played well, played hard, played collectively. They created opportunities, and they capitalized on their opportunities.
Some road trips are tougher than others. This was always going to be a tough one for Monterey Bay. We wish the Crispin Kelp the best of luck the rest of the season for the Indy 11. You get an anthem like that, things are going to go well for you. The summer of soccer continues for the Indy 11 next Saturday night. Be sure you join us then. Rhode Island, last year's Eastern Conference champions, will be in the building for the first time since winning their first playoff match here a season ago. Join us at 7 o'clock. For Dan Capsalis, our entire Tupelo Honey crew, this is Greg Rakestraw. Good night from Indianapolis, and a good night for the Indy 11.
Forget all those DIY schemes to try to keep your family cool. Because at Williams Comfort Air, we've got your back.
Ma'am, everything's up and running.
We look forward to keeping your home comfortable for life.
Imagine a health insurance company that could look beyond doctors' offices and hospitals and help its members find what they need to actually live healthier lives. Like a stable job, dependable transportation, or a safe place to live. Well, that health insurance company is not only real, but making a real difference right now. At CareSource, we're removing barriers. We're improving lives. We're reimagining health insurance.
Our team at Security Federal Savings Bank welcomes you to our newest location, our West Carmel branch on Michigan Road, here to serve you. All the services you expect from a premier bank, personal and business banking, wealth management, trust services, and much more. The Security Federal Savings Bank branch team offers the expertise and knowledge you want and expect. Security Federal Savings Bank, proud of our team and our newest West Carmel location.
maybe six player coming through. He's dropped behind Paul and Ivanovic.
Salt in retreat mode, trying to chest one down. Hayden White gets in the way. Ball bounces around between both players, and I think both coaches thought there.
Maybe six player coming through. He's dropped behind Paul and Ivanovic.
Salt in retreat mode, trying to chest one down. Hayden White gets in the way. Ball bounces around between both players, and I think both coaches thought there might have been a handball on the other side. Moby Fair. Space outside of the 18. Onside, left-footed cross. Never made its way on goal, but it will be, looks like a Moby Fair. Space outside of the 18. Onside, left-footed cross. Never made its way on goal, but it will be, looks like a to get forward. That was the voice of Sean McCauley you heard delivering that message.
I think everybody heard that.
Go between Blake and Quinn. Quinn trying to get on his left peg, takes a deflection and finds the back of the net. I'd say that move out left is working just fine for Aiden Quinn. Cue the smoke in Indianapolis. Tribute to Diego Jota as well by Aiden Quinn. Goal for Indy, 1-0 in minute number 9.
Just talked about Blake on the outside. He's going to move in the middle a little bit, open up that space for Quinn. Exactly what happens. And Quinn gets an opportunity to take the shot. Looks like a little bit of a deflection. We'll see the replay here, but nonetheless, great play, great opportunity. And Quinn
to get forward. That was the voice of Sean McCauley you heard delivering that message.
I think everybody heard that.
Go between Blake and Quinn. Quinn trying to get on his left peg, takes a deflection and finds the back of the net. I'd say that move out left is working just fine for Aiden Quinn. Cue the smoke in Indianapolis. Tribute to Diego Jota as well by Aiden Quinn. Goal for Indy, 1-0 in minute number 9.
Just talked about Blake on the outside. He's going to move in the middle a little bit, open up that space for Quinn. Exactly what happens. And Quinn gets an opportunity to take the shot. Looks like a little bit of a deflection. We'll see the replay here, but nonetheless, great play, great opportunity. And Quinn
to get forward. That was the voice of Sean McCauley you heard delivering that message.
I think everybody heard that.
Go between Blake and Quinn. Quinn trying to get on his left peg, takes a deflection and finds the back of the net. I'd say that move out left is working just fine for Aiden Quinn. Cue the smoke in Indianapolis. Tribute to Diego Jota as well by Aiden Quinn. Goal for Indy, 1-0 in minute number 9.
Just talked about Blake on the outside. He's going to move in the middle a little bit, open up that space for Quinn. Exactly what happens. And Quinn gets an opportunity to take the shot. Looks like a little bit of a deflection. We'll see the replay here, but nonetheless, great play, great opportunity. And Quinn
to get forward. That was the voice of Sean McCauley you heard delivering that message.
I think everybody heard that.
Go between Blake and Quinn. Quinn trying to get on his left peg.